Yo, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Dumb. I'm joined today with my co-host right here, who's been the comedy plug, and kind of like a OG who's known me since I was like 15, 16 years old. His name is PK. What's up, PK?
What's up? It's better than being your weed plug. I'm your comedy plug now.
Yeah, that's why. This is the guy I used to score weed from when I was 16 years old.
What's wrong with being a weed plug?
I know. Yeah, you just shitted on a lot of people. That's how I got my career.
It's legal now, PK. It's legal.
Yeah. But we got our special guests today. We got two comedians. We got Ruben Paul and Johnny Sanchez.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Two of the best, man. Two of the best.
Two of the best in the game.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm surprised you didn't say one of the best.
Well, I mean,
normally
we're a team. We're not on our show, so I'm going to be positive.
Okay.
How did you guys meet PK over here?
PK was he was delivering takeout, and he was just a really
right into it. Dive right into it. All the Asians just
I was hosting Asian.
You were hosting
the. A lot of times I would bring you guys
Asian
up when I did other shows too. Yeah.
So
I brought up so many.
About what year was that?
14, 15 years ago. Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, 2005. Right.
Yeah, and PK. The thing I remember most about PK was your father was a pastor,
Mm-hmm.
and my father was a pastor, and my mom and dad together were missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
So when he used to do his religious material, I was like, man, I can relate to that.
When we smoked weed together, me and
Ruben. but at that time, I thought you were like, headed to be a priest or something at that point. Man.
I think he had a little bit of a struggle between the worlds, right? Comedy and religion.
Yeah, secular.
You talk about it in your bits and stuff.
Yeah. And remember, because I was like, this guy's straight. You had a lot of like church material.
Yeah.
I remember the one about
honest
please
prayer.
please God. What was the one?
The honest prayer.
The honest prayer.
Yeah.
I
feel bad because now my kids are watching that on YouTube, and then I talk about masturbation, and they have questions about what does that mean, and I'm like, I gotta explain all that.
Oh, they'll watch your stuff on YouTube.
It's just they have iPad. They watch like.
But there's not footage of you masturbating, is there?
It's like, where did you find
that? Watch Daddy do this. Why is it so small, Daddy? My pee-pee bigger than yours.
That's where I came from? I can't fit in there.
What sucks is my wife almost walked in on me. Have you ever had that moment where you're like legit caught and
I don't understand people getting caught as adults.
I've never
That's so
been
weird.
Close.
Yeah, never been close, man.
Except at home as a kid.
Yeah,
my teenage years.
Yeah,
I thought everybody was
there was some close calls there.
You thought everybody was asleep,
and we don't wear shoes. They just creep up on you like ninjas.
I think for the most part, everyone's really careful. Even when I was young, but like. You're so reckless because you're so horny at that age.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It's like you're like, your mom's like next door, but you're like, okay, she's over there.
And I don't know about you guys, but we didn't have locks on our doors.
Oh, you didn't?
No, my parents. None of us could have a lock on the door.
That's a dangerous game.
So it was a little Russian roulette, dude, because they're there, and like you said, 15, 16. Are you kidding me? You can't wait till they go run an errand or go shopping or something. It's like, I got to do this right now.
What do you mean you couldn't wait?
When you're 15 16,
it's
like I have to jerk it right now.
Extra. Sometimes I would go in my closet. Just because I had a double. This way, if they because my parents would walk in, dude.
Damn, Johnny.
Dude, my parents did not knock. Especially my dad. My dad used to go, "Hey, Johnny," and he'd go like that at the same time.
Well, he is a horny Latino teenager, so that's extra horny Les Doubles there.
Wait.
Oh, here we go.
1/3.
1/3.
I know. What did you say that? You're 1/3?
Yeah, I did all this years. He's been a fraud. Johnny's been doing stand up for over 20 years.
A third Mexican.
He's Portuguese.
A third Spanish, and then
on like 23 and
Ancestry.
Wow.
Because Ancestry, unlike 23andMe, separates Spain and Portugal, and 23andMe doesn't. They just put you as Iberian. So you don't know really what the breakdown is, right? Okay. Yeah. So I went to Ancestry because they started breaking those two down. So I'm really about a third. I'm almost like a third, like 3 and then
all these years,
and then 2% Congolese up in this motherfucker from the shout out, whisper out to my Bantu people. Whatever. And my Cameroon people.
All these years, I thought I had a Mexican friend.
But doesn't it make sense, PK? Fraud. If you know that, like, I never quite. Like, even in the Latino scene with the Latino comics, I never quite
and then you
fit
have jokes
in.
that you said that you look Indian.
Hey, what does your shirt say, Johnny? Salinas.
These are the Salinas boys.
See, you're still trying to perpetrate that you're Mexican, man.
You got a tweet from Ned Holden saying, "Hey,
he came here in a lowrider and everything over here." Yeah, hold on. I was gonna ask you, what made you want to look that up, though? I'm curious about anybody who like wants to kind of.
Well, because my family, we were all like trying to figure out how much Portuguese, she's half,
Okay.
and then she ended up, she's like more like 60% Portuguese and so a little more than just split down the middle. And then my dad, because my grandfather was adopted and then given the Sanchez last name, okay, we had heard rumors that his dad may have been white. We weren't sure.
Right.
So everybody did it. And my sisters did it too, but they all did 23andMe. The only reason why I didn't do 23andMe with them was they're like, look, we're 40% Iberian. And I go, yeah, but what's the Portuguese and what's the Spanish? I even called 23andMe and asked them, I go, Ancestry's splitting that now. Right. Are you guys doing it? They were like, well, I'm sure we'll be doing it soon if they're doing it.
So they weren't specific enough. That's what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm going to still do 23andMe just so I can be in there with my family. Yeah. But I did Ancestry specifically because I wanted to know how much Portuguese I had.
Right.
So, and then have you been to Spain and Portugal? Have you visited?
No, man. All my friends go there. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and you know what's interesting is I grew up in the San Joaquin Valley, and almost all my friends in high school, and they still my friends, were Portuguese. And I was that odd Mexican dude. Yeah, I was the odd guy out all the time, going to their festas and going to their celebrations.
And the whole time you're part Portuguese.
And the whole time they'd always be like, "Hey, what's this Mexican doing here again? How come you're always at our festas, dude?"
Yeah. And you would have been bullied less if there was 23andMe back then. Shit,
dude, totally, man. Right?
Have you ever dated a girl from Portugal and Spain? Both.
No, I've dated Portuguese girls back home. Like, they're beautiful, dude. The Portuguese girls.
They sound beautiful.
And great, loyal. Good girlfriends, great wives, dude.
All of them?
Pretty much. I'm not even kidding.
You're making a big blanket statement, man. I know you want to be Portuguese, but come on, man.
And I'm not like
sticking up for his people now. Hey, they're good, trusting, loving women.
You was talking shit about them right before the results.
I know, man. I know. Hey, man.
Seriously, dude. Let me tell you, I don't do a broad brush when it comes to cultures, but I tell you, from the ones that were in the area I grew up in, I go back home and I'll be like, so and so still with like their relationships. They are very loyal women, dude. I'm like percentage wise, it's like a 90% ratio or something.
You sound like an old racist dude. The blacks, the blacks, they're really athletic and they jump really high. They're great people. I'm telling you, you get a black man and you put a football helmet on him, man, he's gonna go.
Hey, last night, your Tulare people came through.
Yeah,
were they Portuguese or no?
That guy, they were. Some of them were Portuguese. That's why he kept saying
Tulare,
we kept
California,
saying "epa" back to each other. That's what a lot of the
And then there was
Portuguese.
a girl from Haitian girl, right?
Yeah, there was a Haitian girl
from Pasadena.
But here's the funny thing with John. I was like, "Yo, dude, that's dope. People from your hometown came to see you," and he goes, "Well, I'm sure they're in town for something else." Yeah. And then they just came to the show. And then I talked to them. I go, "Hey, did you guys come all the way out here to see Johnny?" They're like, "No, there was a teacher's conference."
Conference across the street.
But they happened to see you on there, huh? That's cool, though.
And what's really funny was I thought they were different people. And really, the only one that knew me was the one guy that I was talking to. He was the only one. I grew up with him. We were kids. And his parents were like from the Azores.
That's the one that grew up around the corner from you.
Around the corner. Okay. Yeah. So and so people know Ruben is Haitian, and and there was a Haitian girl last night, and he said, "What's your name?" She's like, "Samantha from Pasadena."
I'm like, "Oh, thanks. You're more watered down than I am."
And then you go like this. Ruben goes, "Okay, so your parents are from Haiti."
Yeah, let's be more specific.
She goes, "Yeah. That's what was." And then she spoke. Did she speak Creole?
She spoke Creole, but she wasn't fluent. I said, "Are you fluent?" And she was like, I said, did you speak Creole in the house? This is what I found strange. I go, "Do you speak Creole in the house?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh, so you're fluent?" She was like, "Not really," which was like, if you speak it in the house.
Nah, you could not be fluent in a language.
How?
Well, maybe
if your parents are speaking it.
I spoke it in the house, but I wouldn't say I'm like fluent.
I'm like moderate.
Wait, what is fluent? Is like at what level? would you say?
You can have a conversation if somebody blindfolded you and dropped you off in Korea, you'd be able to.
I could have a conversation, but I wouldn't understand certain words.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're pretty fluent.
Yeah, pretty fluent.
Yeah.
Your Korean's better than me. My parents spoke in the house, but my Korean is
I'm
horrible.
surprised your Korean.
Well, you don't live with your parents.
You're wearing a
anymore,
Korean
so-
flag on your hat and
Yeah,
a
I know.
Koreatown T-shirt.
I know. He's such
Like
a
you
fraud.
are a fraud. You lead like an Asian showcase.
And what's funny is if he does his DNA test, he'll find out he's Samoan or something.
I'm Portuguese.
You should do it, dude. What if you find out you're like? What if you find out you're more Chinese or something, dude?
It would ruin you, wouldn't it?
No,
Like,
it
would
wouldn't
you?
ruin me. God, dude.
You,
trying to get
I
me in
mean,
trouble.
last 20 years in Koreatown,
Yeah, I
you've
know.
led rallies for the World Cup
It would
soccer
trip me
team.
out, though. It would trip you out.
You
Like,
should
But
do
this
it,
is
dude.
funny about PK. He's Korean. Obviously, he claims Korean. But anybody in the NBA, like when Yao Ming came, he's like, "Yeah, Yao
Oh,
Ming." Like, dude, he's
dude.
Chinese,
No, I claim
bro.
Asia.
Now he claims Asia.
What was the other guy? Ling?
Jeremy Lin. Yeah.
Lin.
But Jeremy Lin's
Lin.
different because he was Asian American.
Uh-huh.
You know,
But was he
like
Korean?
7
No,
foot-
he's Taiwanese.
Oh, he was Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even
where the
know.
coronavirus
Oh
started.
no, that wasn't.
No, it was Wuhan.
Wasn't it in
In
Taiwan?
Wuhan.
No. It's
Oh.
Wuhan. It's like a province.
Yeah.
Province. What Providence?
Province,
Yeah,
yeah.
Providence in
Province.
Providence, Rhode Island. That's where.
It was like,
I believe that's where it started.
It's like it's from Wu Tang. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
so is it true about the
probably ate some
eating the
crazy
warm
stuff,
meat? It's called
Yeah.
It started in like a market.
The
that
marketplace.
had animals and shit. Yeah,
and it's called what again? They call it warm.
I don't know.
It's called fucked up. Like
Yeah.
it's really annoying.
Like
and
they kill it.
it's
They
sad
kill it
that-
just right before they eat it.
It's sad that this is happening, but all the people died too. But as Asian American and just like how I don't know, I feel perception is, it just feel this. It's growing so fast now too. and
You can feel the
exponentially.
judgment. You mean? Like from
I've
peop-
had homies in the last like week or two that said they've had instances of like minor racism.
My
and
11-year-old
shit.
son
Yeah.
had
sure.
kids were pointing. I'm going, ew, corona. So I only know this is only gonna grow. And
Kids
I'm
are probably getting it worse because the kids are so cruel.
Yeah.
you know what I'm
I've been
saying?
hearing about that in the schools.
Yeah.
Well, I just
there's-
think most people are uneducated. So if they say it comes from China, obviously you guys aren't Chinese, but people are just going to assume because you're Asian that
Yeah,
you
but
know.
my son was. This happened at Griffith Observatory. I'm thinking about in Trump land in the Midwest and South, the Asian kids.
Like the
Oh,
one Asian
could you
motherfucker in Wisconsin
imagine?
or
Yes,
Iowa.
or
off
in
Those people are
South
ignorant.
Carolina,
clear his
dude.
throat
Yeah.
or blow his nose, or they're gonna be.
I was talking to a buddy of mine in Hong Kong, and he said that they've closed the schools down until the end of April. Like,
Wow.
imagine that.
The Olympics might get
Wh-
canceled.
where in Korea, right?
No, in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Oh, Hong Kong. That's
Yeah.
well. I thought they
They're
are
going
they
in
doing
Kor-
that in
yeah,
Korea
they
as well?
are. They're starting
Yeah.
to.
Korea's like every day
my-
it's jumping up like a
it's-
couple hundred, which is like
It's up to
growing
a
really
few
fast.
thousand right now.
But the thing about them is they have like materials to test you for coronavirus. Like the technology is more advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, it costs like $3,000 to test for
Why?
coronavirus.
Why? Why does it cost?
Because everything is about
money.
money, man, out here. Not about saving
I think it's
lives.
gonna get hit pretty hard over here, man. Honestly.
Well, they just had a case I just
First-
read
first
earlier.
death
First
today.
death,
Washington,
yeah.
right?
Washington State yesterday. Yeah,
yeah.
the death was person died
Can I
yesterday.
just say, like, Asian people here, nothing to do with it? If you're watching this, can you not
Well, I
give
mean,
us these
it did come from Wuhan, China.
No, I know.
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying
the-
is, though, the perception.
It's not coming
changes
from Asian
overall.
Americans, is what you're trying to say,
Yeah,
right?
like we're just
yeah.
minding
How do
our-
we know though, man? We don't know. No, I'm just
It's like we're minding our own business, and now it's like, man, it's like, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Can't do
Now,
anything.
here's the only positive about it is so far, it's not affecting kids.
Yeah.
So-
Wait,
for
it
some
is
reason.
for real?
It's
Are you sure?
yeah.
Yeah. So far it's adults.
For some reason, they can't
For
figure it
some
out.
weird they
and
don't-
pets.
No,
Really?
no. Some dogs. Someone who had it. They found it on. They tested the dog's nose and mouth, and the dog had it.
That's what I said. Some pets.
Oh, some pets.
Yeah.
I thought you said no pets.
No,
sorry,
no,
sorry.
yeah, some pets.
Some pets, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Damn.
crazy.
That sucks. I mean, that's a positive that the kids aren't getting it. There's a CNN clip that just came out. Did you see this guy who was in quarantine for a while and he's cool now, but he was coughing the whole time during the interview.
Shut up.
And he had his daughter on his lap and coughing on her head and shit.
Oh,
Wait, what?
He's the guy who just got rid of it. He's been in quarantine for like
Yeah,
the last
and then there's
month or
that
something.
there's that baseball player that came over because they're in spring training right now, and they quarantine them for like a week until they can see that he's okay. That's kind of shitty.
This episode of Fun with Dumb is brought to you by BetterHelp. Is there something out there that's interfering with your happiness? Well, BetterHelp Online Counseling is here for you. I know in the Asian community, therapy is very taboo. We didn't have that really growing up. We kind of had this like get over it mentality, and there's a lot of built up trauma in our community. So even for me, therapy was something I was scared of, but I've used their service here, and they connect you with professional counselors in a very safe and private online environment. You can get help on your own time, at your own pace. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, and you can even do this through chat and text with your therapist. We got licensed professional counselors that specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, self-esteem. And anything you share is completely confidential. They have 3,000 U.S. licensed therapists all across 50 states. I think this is a great service for anybody who might be nervous about therapy. And if there's financial aid that's available for those who qualified, super affordable. And best of all, right now, for all my listeners, you get 10% off of your first month with the discount code FUNWITHDUMB. So all my Fun with Dumb listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code FUNWITHDUMB. That's no spaces. So go to betterhelp.com/funwithdumb to get that 10% off. You fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get they match you up with the counselors that you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/funwithdumb to get that 10% off. Trust me, do this for yourself. 2020, health is wealth. Take care of your well-being, man.
You know what I
So
mean?
it's curable.
It's curable. It's only
Yeah.
2%, but it's like a lot of the older people are with the.
So 50 and old, weren't they saying
Yeah.
like 50?
So my mom was
50.
in Korea, and this one senior citizen place. My brothers live near her too. They're not allowed to leave. No one's allowed to visit. They're all just on lockdown, and they don't know when this is going to end. They get delivery. Everybody's wearing masks and gloves and stuff. It's like crazy.
I feel
right
like the
now.
damage is so like even if you're educated on it, it's like people naturally like say it was an Asian dude coughing, like cats look at him weird and like they get scared, like naturally. Like
I joked about it last night, and it got a really hard laugh because
But you got a big laugh.
thinking of it,
Yeah.
and this guy's talking about it like, oh, this thing's really happening right now.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, just out of curiosity, because I don't know if I would do this, but let's just say you're somewhere and it's a really long line. Would you start fake coughing?
For fun?
Yeah, to see if people will let you up first.
That's hilarious. I think said if I'm gonna leave the line altogether, but
No, 'cause,
people be like,
Just
oh, you
clear
can-
people out.
that's hilarious. That's a great bit. Can I use that as a tag?
I tweeted some shit
Yeah, go
yesterday.
ahead.
I tweeted something
Yeah,
like, "If you
of
don't let me
course.
hit the blunt, you're racist." Like, but I was like, "Yeah, you're the racist for that."
Oh, I know. When you're smoking weed, I bet people it skips.
I
the-
mean,
I'm
Asian guy-
gonna go out on the limb, man. If we were smoking weed right now,
you
I
wouldn't pass me.
you
though.
wouldn't pass it to us, right?
probably wouldn't. I'm sorry. man.
It would just go back.
But
and forth.
isn't it strange though that all these diseases that come to this country are always from people of color? They try to label us.
like some paranoia shit.
Oh, like, and it's not coming from England or
Yeah.
Ireland or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
and they've
Yeah,
had their
we-
fair share of shit. Too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, let's go back to the other thing. Are people still smoking joints and passing them around?
Not as much.
Not
but-
as much.
Nah, because
Yeah.
there's an abundance of weed
Of
now,
everything
you
now.
know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nah,
okay.
but they cats
Well,
Yeah,
share.
you
no,
still
vapes.
share weed.
The weed vapes.
Absolutely, people still share weed.
Share, but I mean, but they're passing
Oh,
it
yeah.
and hitting blunts together? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. God, that's
Well, there's gonna be a lot less of that.
well, there's
now.
going to be a lot less
Yeah.
of that now.
A lot less
Especially
sharing.
with guys who look like you two.
No, really, man.
Fuck you! I don't want your weed, anyways, man.
Damn, man. I haven't been to Panda Express since this whole thing came out. It's been.
I was sharing. I told John you toured with Russell Peters all over the world.
Yeah.
And so you visited a lot of Asian countries, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh, he
the,
used to
the,
do-
the irony of it is, I was doing Asian countries before I even worked with Russell.
Oh yeah.
So when
you've seen
the cool thing is when I went with Russell, there was a familiarity. Like people kind of already knew me in Hong Kong and then
Crazy.
I didn't go to mainland China with them, but in Hong Kong and Singapore because I had already worked those places.
And is it all like international fan base type cats? Or?
Yeah, and you have your locals.
Yeah.
You know, when you do these shows like we're talking about in Korea, like there's a whole tour where you can go from literally from Hong Kong to mainland China,
Yeah.
Singapore, Vietnam, the Philippines, Korea,
There's a circuit.
Thailand. There's
Yeah.
a whole circuit. And when you're performing at these shows, there's expats from all over the world
Yeah.
that go to these English, because they're English speaking shows. So if you're from a country that speaks English or you speak English
Yeah.
and you're looking for entertainment, you're going to go. So your audience will be like Americans, Germans, Canadians, Irish.
They're all there.
And then the local people who speak English come.
He's
And some people come to those shows to learn how to
English.
speak English.
He actually played a show at Wuhan a year ago. Could it be possible that you brought it to Wuhan?
Nah, man, black people ain't affected by the coronavirus. Got that black strong DNA. So Johnny is protected too.
Oh yeah.
2%.
2%. Oh damn! You guys said at the same time.
Is it nice, like, when you get those results and you have a little bit of something? Like, I came up rapping, so if I found out I was part black, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
But here's the thing.
I loved it because it made sense. Because get this. In our household growing up, he didn't get to. He wasn't listening because his parents were Haitian. My family. We were listening to Motown,
Yeah.
and R&B, all the old school,
Right.
the Jackson 5, the Temptation. And so I was listening to that. He didn't even know who they were
Oh, please.
growing up.
Please.
So
Let me just
now
say
it
this.
makes sense. So dude, I was all in the. I was in dancing like Michael Jackson. I was dancing
He's
like.
like, I had
Elvis.
rhythm.
Anyway, anybody who takes one of those tests is going to have some black.
Right,
I
right,
know
right.
we all
'Cause
come
civilization
from Haitian, started in Africa,
motherfucker.
Was there any Asians?
Right.
Asians go way back too. There's a lot of
Yes.
So it was.
I didn't have any. I don't think I had any. No Asian.
Okay.
No. Just
That's unfortunate.
And I didn't have. You know what surprised me? I did not have any Jewish. I thought for sure my dad had a little bit.
How
My dad had
neurotic
like
you
one-
are? Yeah, I would have thought that.
Exactly.
Yeah, look how big his eyes got. Exactly.
Dude,
Yeah, because
when
we
I-
still can't explain that.
When I went to, I told you when I went to Israel to do some shows out there, and that we were hanging out with the same people, going to dinners, going to stuff. And I guess I didn't realize my neuroses was showing up all the time. And finally, at like the 8th day, one of the Jewish people there were like, "You're really neurotic," and that's coming from all of us Jewish
Wow.
people.
You
That's
have the
hilarious.
Jewish accent down too. The Encino Jewish people talking at the restaurant.
I
You know?
do?
Yeah, you did the two Jewish guys, and they do the you make a turn in here, you make a turn.
No, those are Armenians.
No, you aren't the two Jewish men. You know, you have a bit.
Uh-oh, the coronavirus is eating away at his brain.
No, dude, that's in Glen. That's the
memory
Glendale.
it affects the memory first. Wait, so that bit you thought it was Jewish, but he's
No,
saying
there's
it's
another Jewish
Armenian.
one. You
Oh,
did
it's
two
a different
Jewish
one.
men talking
Okay.
in Encino, yeah, and there's like a street. They make a U-turn.
I used to be able to do it really good because I did an old Jewish guy
Yeah,
on Matt
it's
TV.
really funny.
I played
You
an old.
sound Jewish right now, though.
I
it's
do?
kind of to me. I don't.
Really?
But it's
Kinda
crazy.
like
You
that.
could
I
do
didn't
so many
notice
different
that.
accents.
Oh, oh my God. Don't wind him up, man.
Oh yeah, you guys do a podcast.
Yeah, we do a
found out.
podcast together. But first of all, Johnny's looking for some work on some Latino tours. So, Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the lead in, homie. Hey, listen, if there's any Latino bookers or promoters within the either Los Angeles area, but I'll go to Texas, I'll go to Miami, whatever. But give me the hookup, Holmes, for a Latino tour.
Where can they contact you?
Like you threw that at me. I don't even know.
Come on,
That's the first
That's
time
our
you threw-
improv. I know.
Are you imitating? Is there a certain
Everyone's
comedian
No,
you
No,
imitate? Oh.
Johnny, if you know Johnny's history in stand-up, he's one of those Latino comics that just didn't do stereotypical Latino
Yeah.
material. So the running joke is, now he's trying to get work, so now he's becoming as Latino as possible.
Dude, the one thing, what drove me crazy about those Latino tours? Hey man, where my Latino people at? Dude, it's a Latino tour, bro.
They're
The
everywhere.
whole theater is Latino.
Where my Latinos
Where my
at?
Latino, and then they go like this: if you're Latino and you're here and you're proud, clap, eh? And so it was like,
that happens in everything though. Like
It does.
hip hop shows, like yo, where my hip hop heads
Yeah,
at? It's like,
yeah,
they
yeah,
came
yeah.
to see
My
you, bro.
favorite thing is like black people make some noise, and then you see the white people in the audience like, shit, we can't participate in this.
We're allies.
I mean, we bought a ticket like everyone else.
It's a easy cop out kind of thing, to get some cheers and shit.
But the guys were and then the material was always geared towards in-house, very in-house. A lot of Latino comics are very, very in-house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to know the family stuff. Like,
Yeah.
even stuff that I go, oh wow, they'd be, hey, didn't you hate it when your nana got the tortilla and then put it in here and then that? And I'd be like, oh shit, we didn't even do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like very.
The funny thing is, a lot of the like household experiences from any culture is similar to everybody,
Yeah.
each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all similar. you
I saw
know?
when Joe Coy talks about his mom, a lot of people are like, yeah, my mom was like that too.
Really
or,
cross.
yeah.
By the way, does pretty much the whole world eat rice and beans? It seems like rice
Like,
and
does
beans
everybody
are
have a rice? I don't know about beans, but everybody got a rice.
Yeah.
maybe,
I feel like beans are everywhere too, aren't they?
Um,
I'm not talking about pinto and black. I'm just saying like
a
We
part
have
of the
beans.
part of the main diet. You're saying?
Yeah, I
I don't
feel
think
like when I
beans aren't very popular in
But
Asia. I don't
rice.
think.
like soybean.
Soybean.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Soybean.
just the bean family,
You mean a bean?
beans, some type of bean.
Why do we care about this right now?
Because I
Johnny?
started
No,
noticing.
because Johnny and Bobby had a show called Rice and Beans.
We did
long
the Rice
time
and
ago.
Beans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Bobby was rice and Johnny was beans.
No, but what I'm saying is, as I started noticing more and more different food from different cultures, countries and stuff, I was like, everybody. It looked to me like everybody has a rice, their rice, and some type of bean.
Some type of legume is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Right. And I told him he does sticky rice. I said, dude.
Didn't you see how racist that was? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
you
Wow,
guys
very
yeah,
astute.
You guys got that right, yeah. He does sticky rice,
Yeah.
right? And I told him one of these days we'll do a show. Get this. I hate when he does that to me. Anyway, yeah, I'm right here, man.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I said let's do sticky rice and beans.
Yes,
we'll do a
let's do it.
special event, half Asian, half Latino. Sticky rice and beans.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Hold on, let me ask you, why is it called sticky rice? I just want to ask you.
We
this.
just threw out a
It's a
bunch
catchy name,
No,
by the
we
way.
just threw out a bunch of names, and then Michael Yo's like, let's go with this one. It sounds like funny.
It's
You know?
it's funny. It's-
But I didn't know in the gay community, no big deal, but in
Hmm?
the gay community, sticky rice means like two gay Asian dudes like
What?
getting
Stuck together?
Sticky, yeah, I didn't know. And I was like, oh, it does?
My God.
I had no. I had
didn't
never
know.
heard that
Well,
either.
You know they have terms.
You knew
bear,
that?
I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
Bear.
How would I know?
You were reacting like
You could let your imagination run wild what sticky rice might mean.
Yeah,
It's,
so I was like, it's funny.
See what happens when you bring up beans? Now is going to gay sticky rice. Like, how
Wait,
do
so
we end up there?
so when you're trying to get more Latino shows, you're saying now, or what? Like,
no, it's
It's just a running
Oh,
joke.
it's a
okay,
running
okay,
joke,
okay.
but I always do it in that voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like as a. But I do those tours, but I'm the odd guy out. Sort of. Actually, it's changing now. Some of the new generation of Latino comics are more. There are more that are now
Alternative.
going. Hey, I don't speak. I'm not fluent,
Right.
which I was saying 20 years ago, and it was that was at the height of Mencia and a lot of these other guys where Hollywood. That's all they wanted, man. They
Right,
wanted
right.
you to be.
They want you to
street.
be the stereotype.
Yeah, they wanted you to be from Montebello and El Monte and Pacoima, and here I was like, yeah, I'm third generation from the San Joaquin Valley, and
Well, like in your character you did on Mad TV, I feel like since you were kind of you said you were outsider of like that kind of community a little bit.
a little bit.
I feel like the comedians who kind of are more on the outside are able to observe it more,
Yeah.
like your own shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah,
every
yeah.
community, Asian,
Yeah.
black, or
Yeah,
whatever. you
yeah.
know?
Little
Yeah.
Joker's
Little
legendary.
Joker for president is what I'm
Yes.
thinking. I think he needs to run.
Let's do it.
For president. And you know what? And he's not Republican. He could be Democratic,
Democratic.
but
Your puns are the best.
But you know
what?
Stop, PK.
I think he would definitely be representing the Green Party. What, homie?
Hey, do you follow Fools Gone Wild on Instagram? Do you know Fools Gone Wild?
You know what? Some guy, there's a guy who follows me on Instagram who sends me their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of.
They blew up. So it's like this Instagram account that has taken a lot of Latino American nuances and clips of like fools in LA.
Yes.
Well, all over, and then just post clips and funny memes, Latino memes and stuff like that.
Are these the same guys that do? I thought this was hilarious. They're two cholo guys doing a cooking thing. They call it Food Network.
No.
It's the same logo as the Food Network, but
No,
it's
that's
just
no
funny.
D.
No D.
funny.
Yeah.
And I was like,
funny.
that's clever.
Right,
That's
right.
great. So,
Right.
okay, so there's
Yeah, they
Fools
just
Gone Wild.
curated, but it's like it blew up because
funny.
all their shit's mad funny, and if you grew up around Latinos and stuff, you get a lot of the jokes, and
I think you two should do a Raider show with Little Joker, and you know what I'm saying? Like you guys both love Raiders.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
really funny.
Now I'm bummed though that they're leaving California
Yeah,
though.
Vegas.
They're still Raiders, man.
Yeah, I know.
But I only support California teams.
oh, as a rule.
So this is going to be tough for me. I don't know what to do because if
Vegas,
I'm either
it's
going
like-
to stay with them
But you
or
gotta-
I'm going to go back to the 49ers.
Vegas is almost Cali.
You gotta look. You
Vegas
gotta
is
look
like
at
a different planet. Like
yeah, you like look at Vegas like Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like just a.
They sold out the whole season already.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I don't. That's a good.
So,
comment.
but I've already got these nicknames already. Sin City Raiders is one.
Yeah.
nicknames for you to call them or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The other one
for
is
Johnny. And
Just for-
no.
to try to
I'm going to
make every-
hashtag it. It's going to catch on. It's
yeah.
going to go.
And
Everybody's
he
going to
thinks
be doing it.
everybody else is gonna catch
Viva
on.
Las Raiders. You wait and see, dude.
No, the best Johnny pun was when Ahmed was wanted a name for his tour. He said Ahmed should call it Ahmed and Friends. My friend.
My friend. Yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
He didn't like it.
Ahmed and Friends. My friend.
Remember my my pun? I came up with the best pun in Dubai when I was like, you know what? What was it again?
There were-
I know what it was. I was like, how much does it cost to rent? And they were telling me the prices were outrageous out there. And I was like, I would build one that's very affordable, and I would call that complex Low Rents of Arabia.
That's funny.
All right.
That's
Oh,
funny.
I have a question about Dubai actually because I don't know. I'm pretty ignorant to. What's the deal with Dubai? Is this like?
I was only there once, and I was only there for one.
So much
for
money there,
one
right?
day.
Well,
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
Mad
you,
cats
you've
with
been there
money.
I've
more.
been there.
You've been there more than I have.
Yeah, I've
so-
been there a few times. What's your question?
I don't know anything about Dubai.
It's,
I
keep
just
hearing
see
about it too.
Instagram
Just
posts with
imagine,
Lamborghinis and shit.
like it's. I like Dubai, but
Yeah.
it's an artificial place. It's almost like the Vegas of the
Yeah,
Middle
I was
East.
just gonna.
Right.
I was wondering,
Because
yeah,
everything
yeah.
is man-made there.
Right.
Like they literally took people. You know, these billionaires just built this city.
Yeah.
You know, and it's. I mean, they have. I believe it's the last time I went there, like 2 of the 3 biggest malls in the world
Wow.
are in Dubai, and I think it's 1 and 2. They have the tallest building
Khalifa,
in the world.
Khalifa, what is it? What's the
Uh,
Burj?
Yeah,
How do you say it? How do you pronounce that?
I
dude?
can't-
I can
Is
remember.
it mostly oil money or?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm wondering if there's another like banking.
No, it's beer money.
banking.
That's the halal cart, Dad. It's really took off the halal guys franchise.
One thing I love about PK, he destroys every Asian is super smart stereotype. He destroys it immediately. So when somebody goes, Asians are super smart, like meet my
I
friend
don't know. It
PK.
could be banking. I don't know.
You know what? There is something funny about Pete. He's always like, "Hey, did you hear about it?" And then we go, "Yeah, you didn't know that? I didn't know. He does do that a lot. Like,
He like
I had no
PK don't
idea.
know shit.
You reps hard for the Asian. You reps hard.
I know, man.
Little kids.
Did you excel in school? Were you a
Hell
smart
no,
kid?
he didn't excel.
No,
in
I
school.
did. I did well. I did well.
You did?
Yeah, I
What
did.
college you go to?
Occidental. Barack Obama.
Oh,
Okay.
The only
Occidental.
college west of the Mississippi where a president went to.
All right.
Occidental.
Did you graduate?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Is Occidental a good school
It's a
though?
very good school. I would say it's right below UCLA. Right below.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Did they have any sports team? No sports.
I mean, it's like Division 3 or.
Oh,
something.
okay.
You play like.
I think that's what Ruben played in college, right?
No,
Division
no,
3
no,
football.
no,
And El Camino Real.
No. That
Yeah,
was,
you went to
that
El
was-
Camino-
that was-
El
that was
Camino Real.
That was junior college, and it wasn't El Camino Real.
What's the name of that place?
It was El Camino.
Oh.
Period.
Oh,
Did
that's
you play
right.
though? Like.
Yeah, yeah,
Football.
yeah. I got a scholarship, and
Oh,
I
nice.
ended up going to Long Beach State, which was Division 1 at the time, and then tore my ACL.
Oh,
I
dang.
was going to transfer to UCLA and then went to El Camino, and it seemed like every All-American who wasn't playing Division 1 was at El Camino, and it was super competitive. They were number 1 in the country, I think.
Damn.
That year. Yeah.
Is that in the valley?
in junior
No,
college?
it's-
No, it's
Oh, that's out in.
it's Hawthorne, like right outside
Oh,
of Hawthorne,
yeah.
Lawndale
Yeah,
area.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Because
Oh.
Ruben's from Carson.
I always thought I thought it was over there by like.
Well, there is an El Camino Real, like wherever that area is. but
like
this
over
was
by
just-
by like
The West Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean by West Valley?
Like towards Agoura Thousand Oaks, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like way out there.
I'm not sure where it is, but
Okay.
El Camino College, El Camino Junior College was off the 405.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I had
I
a
was
couple homies who
picturing-
went there. 310.
Like
is
Chula.
right
I was
there.
thinking it was over by Chula Vista
no,
and
no,
all
no,
that.
no.
Okay.
It's over like near. It's between like Gardena,
Right,
Lawndale, Hawthorne, and
A lot of
and that
Asians
area.
there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Asians. Wait, where are you from? LA too?
No, San Joaquin
So
Valley.
So you're from that area.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
I grew up in Del Amo.
He's straight out of
okay.
he's straight out of Carson.
Straight out of
Yeah, I
Carson.
know a lot of
Carson.
Koreans from Carson and Hawthorne. That's a different breed of Koreans, and
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Asians over in near Redondo.
yeah, 310
in the-
Asians like
What's that little town right there?
Torrance.
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 Yeah, Torrance.
That's it. Because
That's- that was the capital of the
my-
rice rocket, the cars.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
the
Is
Fast
Is that
and
where
the
all the
Furious-
races happened?
A lot of races.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, back in the day.
So when I was growing up, Torrance, because they had the big mall, they had the Del Amo Mall
Yeah.
in Torrance. So it's just funny. Me and Johnny were talking about how things are different now with kids nowadays. Like everything has to be with your parents or whatever. I remember getting up as a kid, being maybe like 12, 13 years old, catching a bus, like leaving at 12 in the afternoon and not coming back home until 6 or 7.
Dinner time, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Dude, I know.
Now the thought of it, like kids can't even walk to school anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like.
And
The
I mean,
Del Amo Mall was the mall that we used to go to.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with my mom not long ago, and I was like, "Hey, weren't you worried?" You know, we would take off, also on your bikes,
Yeah.
and we would be all over our. You know, it was a small town, but
no
still-
phone, no cell phones.
I mean, no way. But we were in a group. There was always 3, 4, 5 of us. But still,
Yeah.
it was just such a different. And,
Such a
and she's
different
like, "No,
time.
we didn't worry much. You know, unless you weren't home when
Well,
it
they
started
also
to get
just
dark."
dealt with the limitation of communication too. They were like, "There's no way, so fuck it." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Now there is. They're gonna.
But
be
now
on
you have
it.
parents like literally will give their kids a cell phone
Right.
at 9 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can get in touch with them in case anything happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were growing up, once you left the house, see you when I see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you'd call another parent. Have you seen Ruben? Have you seen? You know what I mean? That's how it was. There was no direct contact.
I was all over the
Payphones.
city during that time. I was
On what?
just-
On like a bicycle or a skateboard or
skateboard, and you know,
Bike,
we
yeah.
take the bus sometimes.
Okay,
you
yeah,
know?
that's the thing that I definitely missed out on when you're in a small town. There was no bus. There was no
that
bus.
RTD, we used to call it the rough,
Yeah.
tough, and dangerous.
Remember the RTD when I
The
moved out here?
rough, tough, and dangerous, or we used to call it rough, tough, and dangerous. What was the other one?
It was totally different, wasn't it?
We had nicknames for everything.
Yeah.
Man, it was the bus, skateboarding, just all around
And,
city.
and where'd you grow up?
Koreatown.
Oh, you grew up in Koreatown.
Yeah,
It's
my
like a
whole
freestyle
life.
battle in South Central.
Well, I used to go to, so when I was young, like I was freestyle rapping a lot, and I'd go to Lamert Park in South Central.
Dope.
And
That's why I started doing stand up.
Oh,
really?
Lamert Park was a place there called the Comedy Act Theater.
Oh, sick.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I was
it's
at-
called the Regency West.
Yeah, I know, and I was at next door to his Chaos Network, and
Mm.
that's where I would freestyle in that corner every Thursday. Project Blow, just like open mic there, like world famous for rappers.
Yeah.
But I'd be in my freshman year in high school. I started going there. I'm from like 3rd Street, and that's on 43rd Street.
Yeah.
So, and the open mic started at 10 p.m. and I'd go there, and it would end at 2 a.m. And the whole time the buses weren't like running, so I wasn't waiting. So I'm on a Razor scooter.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Come-
Yeah,
all
and that's
coming down
Crenshaw
here.
and 43rd.
Yeah, Crenshaw and 43rd.
So back
Yeah.
to back to K-Town.
Back to K-Town. There was
Yeah,
a few
dude.
times I busted crazy missions like that during that time. It's
But that just shows the passion that you had. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it was crazy, and I remember one time my dad dropped me off at the open mic at 10 p.m. on a Thursday school night. You know what I'm saying? He
Wow.
just dropped me.
Oh wow.
They were just like, my parents was wild. They all
Now, when
busy
you say
working.
open mic, you're talking rapping.
Rapping open,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
ciphers, freestyle. You could sign up to perform a
Yeah,
song
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
No,
So-
I'm just when I hear open mic, I'm so used to stand
comedy.
up.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't realize that it's
funny
for
thing is we're-
musicians and rappers and all
my
that.
dad's dropping me off, and this is like we're driving down south, and we're passing Pico, and he's like, "Where the fuck you going?"
I know. Koreans don't go
Yeah,
past
no, yeah,
South
there's
of
no
Pico to
reason
10.
I know.
to go. He's like, "Where the fuck?" Like he's kind of worried as we're going further and further.
Wow.
And that's funny because growing up, I never came north of Wilshire.
in. Right,
Like,
right.
Until I started doing comedy.
right.
But it took you a few
took-
years.
it took
We've
a
talked
while.
about. Isn't that crazy, dude? He did not want to go
Was
north
afraid.
of Wilshire
We're afraid
to
to.
Sunset and try to hit up the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store, the Melrose Improv.
It was just ingrained because growing up, like all the older kids who used to go north of Wilshire used to always get pulled over by the cops, get arrested by the cops.
Okay.
So it's like,
Yeah.
just stay away. You're not wanted there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I had never been to Beverly Hills or any place like that. My parents pretty much stayed in the South
Right.
Bay.
Right.
So it wasn't until I did comedy, it was like, man, I'm going north of Wilshire here.
I mean,
This
that's
is-
far too.
Yeah.
It's not close.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when you were doing those ciphers, were you like the only Korean kid there?
Yeah, like that open mic is definitely majority blacks, Latinos too, and then
I remember that.
there were a few Asians sprinkled in, and they were like filming the ciphers and shit. And I go there, and I was freestyling and battling. Eventually, like became part of the crew and everything, but that's like years into it. You know?
So let me ask you this. And a friend of mine used to work for Rough Riders when they had signed Jin back in the day.
Jin's the homie too. I know Jin.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope. So kind of like when you watch 8 Mile, when you're the Korean guy, you're the odd man out. Like you have to be prepared because you know what all the lazy punchlines are going to be probably before when you're battling.
Yeah,
you
you
already
could-
know what's going to happen. Like, okay, when's the chopstick joke going to come? When is this? You know
It depends
what I
on
mean?
how
Math.
you flip it, and that's the thing about Jin that he did well with. He knew how to flip that,
Yes.
you know, and just kind of use it. He did the 8 Mile thing, like I am this, I
am
am
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
that's my question. Did you do some of the same things?
Yeah, but I feel like I'm like the generation right after Jin. There's only been like really 2 battle rappers that were Asian that made some noise.
What's up with Jin right now? I'm sorry.
He's doing stand up actually.
Yeah.
I think somebody
started
told
in-
me
He's doing
that.
stand
New
up.
York.
Well,
Oh,
he
New
we
York.
went to China and he was putting out records there and kind of blew up over there. And then now he's back to New York and he's doing stand up.
Wow.
He's
I gotta hit my.
uploading.
So here's
Yeah.
a quick story. So a buddy of mine named Turner Sparks, I kind of talk about him in my act. He's from Sacramento, California, white boy, lived in mainland China for like 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Now he lives in New York and started a little like comedy scene there because there's a huge Asian population in New York. So I wonder if Jin has crossed paths with him because he speaks fluent Mandarin. He's done shows in New York that are Chinese speaking shows.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Chinese speaking shows.
Yeah, he's done a couple of them, and I'd be curious. Turner did our podcast. Remember Turner?
Oh yeah,
Turner
okay,
Sparks, yeah.
yes.
Turner's my friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't the guy that in your stand-up that
Yes.
was ordering the food. No,
No, those are the other 2 comics, but
Okay.
he's the one that
started that he had the comedy night over
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good guest.
he
yeah.
was a good guest. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him. If,
I'm gonna have
if-
to ask him about Jin, man.
And
Yeah,
is it Jin G-I-N or J-I-N?
J-I-N.
J-I-N.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was the first Asian dude that was on TV like killing fools
Yeah,
and battles and shit.
106 in
Yeah.
Park was a popular show on BET, and they used to have these battles on Fridays, right?
Freestyle
Fridays.
Fridays.
Freestyle Fridays, and Jin,
consecutively every week for like 7 weeks straight.
yeah, was murdering every week.
Wow.
All black audiences. This Asian dude was killing, and then a friend of mine was working at Rough Riders at the time, and I remember when they had signed Jin.
So is he on YouTube?
Yeah,
Oh,
He's probably gotta be on YouTube,
You
right?
could
That
find
was,
him.
besides those battles, like at the time he was the main battle. Like he was doing other battles too, and he was like killing dudes
On the
like
streets,
left and
yeah.
right, like freestyle battles. And I came a generation after that where
Did he inspire you?
I was already doing it, but then seeing him on the screen like that was thrilling for a lot of Asian people. Like
sure.
Asian kids would watch that on the show, and we were like thrilled.
Yo,
by it. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah. But
yeah.
definitely like. A lot of Asian kids were watching freestyling or battling already. I was, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I already had my kind of school of people over there because those dudes are rough, you know what I mean? Like, you suck, they'll, like, go in on you.
Absolutely.
You know, like, this is, like, real spot where, like, some Apollo shit, they'll boo your ass off stage or, you know, they don't care if you're Asian, this or that. You just got to be tight.
You gotta be tight.
So when did the for you who inspired you as a kid when you were young? Like what were the groups or rap groups that you?
I mean, yeah, a lot of just like West Coast cats mainly because I'm from here. But then when I got a little, like when I was growing up, I was super young. I'm talking like 6, 7 years old. I was listening to all the radio shit, you know, which was like West Coast hip hop, Snoop, you know, and Ice Cube and everybody. But then as I got a little older in my teenagers, you kind of go into lyrical shit.
Yeah.
So you find out about a lot of the East Coast dudes, you know, know.
Mhm.
And that's when I started listening more to like Mos Def and Talib and all that. And then,
Wow.
but then like, yeah, I'm just like more of a West Coast kid. And I was always into comedy and hip hop, and I think that's why I really got into battling.
Oh,
You
dope.
know, that's why I really got into battling.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. Whenever people ask me like what rappers that I like and why, like the reason why I love Biggie is because Biggie was funny. He made me laugh out loud. His lyrics. Jay, to me, Jay-Z is funny. Like if a rapper can make me laugh, I tend to gravitate towards that style because it's a lot of cleverness in the lyrics to be able to make you laugh.
There's something about that, like when you have a lot of swag and you're kind of talking about all the money you have. There's a funniness to it too.
Yes.
The way you talk about how much money you have and you do this thing, it's like ridiculously. It's just so ridiculous that it's kind of funny too.
Yeah.
Right.
Biggie had some funny, weird lines too, like I'll suck your daddy's dick because you're so fine. I'll suck your daddy's dick.
Oh, yeah.
How about even when he goes, black and ugly as ever, however.
Yeah, like
to call yourself
that's
black and
self-aware.
ugly. You know
that's
what I mean?
self-awareness, and that's a lot of what comedy is, right?
Yes.
You being self-aware.
Yeah, self-deprecating.
Exactly.
yes.
And the thing about it is a lot of rappers aren't self-aware. That's the thing. It's like
Yes.
a craft where you're flexing and you're putting on a persona so much that there isn't a lot of self-aware rap. There's more now, I think, but
You know what's interesting about that, and me and Johnny talk about this a lot in comedy, and it just in this moment, the more real you are as a performer, the more it connects with the audience. And I think that's what you're saying when you
For sure.
when you're being honest and telling your story, being self-deprecating. Even I'm gonna screw up the line, but even Biggie's line about wearing the fake Le Tigres, and he goes, if you actually see the collar on my shirt, see you later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember the
Right.
verse, but it's like he knew his shirt was fake, so he wouldn't let you check the tag on his collar. And just how cleverly he would say stuff like that was dope. But I just think when people are more transparent or talk about their real life situations, whether it's comedy or music, hip hop, people connect to that.
and it kind of ages better too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's how
Yes.
comedy's changed so much from like back in the day till now, where it's so raw. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, the whole one-liner,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
and then like to the
it's more like storytelling now. I feel like
Well, we're definitely. Oh, you're too. You're a storyteller as well.
Yeah.
PK falls into the storytelling.
I
But-
just don't think, especially when I think of hip hop now, I just don't think it's as creative as it used to be. Clever, like a lot of people got mad at Snoop Dogg when he posted that one video, or somebody posted an interview of him when he goes, most rappers sound the same. They have the same
right.
flow.
The Migos thing.
Yeah, it's this same flow. And I have a friend whose kid is rapping and doing stuff, and it's this same flow. Back in the day, everyone was distinct. Soon as a beat came on, as soon as you heard the first couple of lines, you knew who it was rapping immediately. Now it takes you a minute. It's like, is that Travis Scott? Is that this? Like,
Well, I think it's there. It's just underground. Like it's
Yeah,
always like
absolutely,
that. All
of course.
the shit is underground. Because that's really what starts the mainstream trends. It always starts from the underground and then becomes like the hot shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But before it was mainstream, I guess because of maybe the time and hip hop was coming from the underground, but it just seemed like it was more like if we're going back to like 80s and 90s hip hop, when you're thinking of like even like the X Clan was just very specific, like you knew Poor Righteous Teachers, Lords of the Underground, like all these hip hop groups, EPMD, everybody was kind of doing their own thing. LL Cool J, Run DMC, you had all these dope groups. And now it just seems so much auto-tunes and everything is kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
it's funny because Tammy and I, we listen to 93.5. It's like the oldies hip hop station. Like we love it because it just reminds us of that.
When you guys were
Yeah, but then when we play the Kiss FM music for the kids in the back, we're like, what is this trash? 'Cause it's like dancing with a stranger. They're singing Dancing with a Stranger. We're like, don't ever dance with strangers, kids.
Well,
Like,
I think
what is this?
the taste all changes. I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't remember if I was a kid with trash music taste. Like probably.
Yeah, but it's gonna get there soon. Trust me. when
I'm not one of these old heads that think like all the new music is trash.
I
either.
like a lot of there's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff I
love
like.
like I love J. Cole. I love Kendrick. I love my little homie D Smoke.
Yeah.
Who's hitting it big.
What
now.
about Chance?
I like Chance. It's interesting because when he first came out, he just seemed so celebrating. Everybody was like, yo, Chance is dope. This kid just came from Chicago. He had his own little underground thing. And I've just noticed some of the same people who really liked him on this last album have kind of been hating on him a little bit.
That's why it's so crazy.
Have you checked out the same thing?
This game is so crazy because he was almost like the most loved rapper.
What happened?
And
Explain
then
it. I
everyone
don't
just
know.
like turned on him.
Why?
Like crazy.
Do you know why? Like, I have no idea.
They were
He
saying
had like
the
a
guy
big-
was too happy and too positive, and he's celebrating his wife and like
Isn't
I don't know.
He's a
Kids just
Christian
kind of
rapper,
turned
isn't
on
he?
him.
Isn't he?
Well, he is a
Yeah.
Christian,
Yeah.
but his you wouldn't consider his album
Like
He's
a
just a
Christian
mainstream
rap.
rapper who
Who happens to be
has his
Christian.
faith too, but he's
Kind of
not-
like how Kanye was early on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how Kanye would do Jesus Walks, and then the next song,
That shit scares me when I see shit like that. How everyone could just turn on you so
Yo!
quickly.
Crazy, right?
Mob-
I didn't even
mob
know
mentality.
this. I didn't even know.
So
I-
here's interesting. Like, when you are in the underground and you know somebody before they blows, you kind of feel like you discovered somebody. So
Yeah.
I remember, when his first album came out and everybody's like, yo, this kid is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now them same people are saying themselves like, you like Chance? I'm like, yeah,
I
dude.
feel
It's only
I thought
been
we
a
all
year.
liked them.
Yeah. It's only been a year, bro. Like, we're supposed to hate him already? Like, it's only been a year and a half.
Wow.
So
It's
they're
so
weird.
weird.
The
man.
taste is fickle. It's so.
Was he oversaturated? Is that what it?
Yeah, you know what?
happens
I think that
sometimes
could be
too?
it
That
too.
could be it too.
Somebody comes on, no matter what the artist, whether they're musicians or actors or whatever, and after you're like, damn, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing this
But,
person.
but I
everywhere.
do think it lends towards what he just said.
It's
It
too-
was really
too-
happy and positive and talking about his wife and his, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
No,
you,
that's-
Which
you
no,
put
shouldn't
it-
necessarily
which is
get hated
crazy.
on.
I know, dude.
Seriously.
I know. And that's a lesson to all of us as artists. That's why you can't cater to people, man.
Yeah, and don't
Right.
celebrate your wife. That's the lesson.
Yeah. Make sure you still call her a bitch.
Where does in all this? Because I only know his one. So Lil Nas X, where does he fall in with rap and all that?
I think it's people. He's not hurting anybody. It's super positive. Like the kids love him, and
Yeah.
it's so
okay.
There's nothing
because
really-
I don't know any other song of his besides.
He
Yeah,
has, he has
I-
another one out.
I
too,
put him
it's
in
good.
like a
like
No.
where would you compare? What would you
I
compare?
don't-
I
I mean,
is he-
I don't-
Well, he came
I
out
don't-
as gay, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
He's,
yeah.
he's a black gay country style rapper,
Country
which
style.
is
so
which is
unique.
so new and unique.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You compare him to who? You were going to say somebody.
I
was
don't
there
know. I
anybody
just
that you could remember.
I don't want to say you don't know what the future holds, but that song has a one-hit wonder
Correct.
vibe to it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
another
there's
one
these
out.
certain songs that
Yeah.
come out in all of our lifetimes
Yeah.
where it just takes off, like Rico Suave.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
Back in the day.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
All that
that
stuff.
music video.
Yeah.
or like
don't-
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style,
yeah,
dude.
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style.
Exactly. Or the one song, and people still like it when it comes on, but the song drove me crazy was "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
No, man.
I like Don't Worry Be Happy.
Wait, who?
Not any.
whose song
I'm
was
with
that?
you.
Bobby McFerrin.
Bobby
Bobby
McFerrin.
McFerrin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby
That song
McFerrin.
drove me crazy.
Yeah, no, oversaturation's
After
a
a
thing.
After a while.
After a while.
After a while.
Yeah.
Oversaturation is a thing because at weddings sometimes they give us a do not playlist.
Mhm.
Oh.
And even at a Korean wedding full of Korean people,
What's on the do not
Gangnam
playlist?
Style's
Oh,
like, don't play that.
No
Because they just
way.
feel like
Gangnam
people are gonna be like,
Style.
oh.
And for white people, it should be "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. Damn,
Right, that's
great
a
song.
that's
Oh,
a
it's
go-to,
a
right?
I
great
like that
song,
song.
yeah.
I know, but dude, that's the only Journey song they play on the radio as well, dude.
Yeah.
Like they can't mix it up with. There's Wheels in this. There are so many other songs of Journey, and but that's got to be one
That's
too.
that's up there for sure. White
Remember-
white
Yeah,
karaoke.
yeah,
That's
white karaoke, yeah.
up there.
Yep,
Remember
that's
when
right.
Andre and
White
Hey Y'all?
karaoke.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
yeah, that's-
Man.
Oh, yeah, that's
Well, you didn't like that
Wait,
song?
What
I
you
didn't-
wanna do?
I did not
What
like
you gonna do? Man, they
Yeah.
play. I mean,
No,
I didn't.
Yeah, that
and
guy's
let me keep it 100. And this is how a lot of black people feel. Once white people really start loving the song,
yeah,
we
yeah.
like, we cut that
Because
shit
the
off,
beat-
dog. Cut
The beat
that
was very,
shit
when
off.
you danced to it, the beat was
Why?
very...
White people starting to like that shit, dog.
You know what song was huge?
We off that.
Crazy.
What?
I think you're crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
Oh,
heard
yeah.
that just
Yeah.
like a day or two
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Damn,
I mean, all
Yeah,
these
man.
songs
That
are really
song.
catchy. Don't
They
get me
are. They're
wrong.
good songs.
Yeah, yeah.
They're good
Oversaturation's
songs.
a
The
thing, though.
oversaturation.
But wouldn't you see? I would be totally okay if I could. I got friends that are musicians, but if I always said I would love to get a one-hit wonder, man.
Yeah,
Same.
you're
I
saying-
wouldn't
but
care,
you're-
dude.
I
But
would
you're,
not
I think you're saying that as a fan, but as an artist, when years go by and that's the only song people want to hear from you be like, dude, I have so many more hits.
That's true.
I've recorded like 10 albums. This is all you want to hear? Like, yeah. Because have you ever been to a concert when somebody doesn't sing the song that you like, yo, I didn't pay to see you sing that shit.
But I would like to kind of work off of one hit for like 3 years. That'd be nice.
No,
you know
what I mean is, I'm talking about for me.
Of course.
Not just Johnny Sanchez, the comic, not a musician. Like I wrote something and that somebody else is singing, but every now and then I come in, or something like that.
Like a Lil Duval.
Yeah.
Lil Duval had that, right?
I get to be in a music video and everything. I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Do you have to check your parking?
No, I'm good. I got street parking.
But
I was just gonna say one of my favorite memories is I never would have gone to this concert if it wasn't for we went to a Motley Crue, and I'm not into but we went and I studied before the concert. I would just work out to Motley, like the greatest hits, to know,
and that's what they played.
And at the end of the concert, like literally at the top of our lungs, me and Johnny were like this, wasted, just going, like with all the rocker
screaming,
fest, like just
it
it
was just
it
raw.
was like the reunion thing. They did,
no, it's like the final.
It was supposed to be their final, dude. And
one.
we were at the second to the last show, so we saw their second to the last show ever. It's supposed to be forever.
Yeah, but they're like, there's some money.
There's another one.
Well, they spent all that money, so 5 years late, 5 years later.
So it's funny that you did that. You went and you studied and you learned. When I found out Johnny loved AC/DC, I went and did it, and I would mess with him like, hey, man, did you know something? He's like, oh, Ruben, yes, I know all of it. And every day I would hit him with a fact. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I got it. But if it's some black shit, Johnny, hey, man, I don't know, man.
I need to
yeah, you don't do. Yeah, we
my-
educate ourselves about your music, but when it's us, you don't educate us at all, man.
That's a good point.
Taking that 2% back, motherfucker.
But everybody has to. It's AC/DC, man.
Oh, stop.
I mean, I will say this much about AC/DC concerts, dude. Even I've gone to see Motley and some of the other ones. Every now and then I would just turn and look in this, and it's literally every head in sync with every song.
Damn.
Yeah.
Their energy is pretty crazy.
It's
I would say.
crazy
AC/DC
for their concerts. And you just
man,
take
I'm glad I discovered them.
Because who talked about them all the time?
You did, but then I went and watched the documentaries and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
you did do that. You did do that. But, and for the record, and people listening, I am a Bon Scott fan first,
definitely. Me too.
and then Brian Johnson.
Bon
lead
Scott,
singer wise,
Bon Scott,
Wait,
that voice,
when
man.
When did you two meet? Like the first?
Oh, by the way, I just figured out when we started talking. Did I tell you? We've been trying to figure this out, dude. We used to run into each other.
What's her name?
We used to run into each other in the late 90s. Sometimes he would do Latino shows, and I would recommend. He was doing Latino rooms, and I would recommend Ruben. I knew of him, but I finally figured out because you've been saying to me, but when did we start talking, like on the phone, talking a lot? It's around 2004. I figured it out.
I think you did tell me that.
Yeah, because I got picked up. I was at Comedy Store all those years, and then I kind of left the store and I went to the Laugh Factory. And I got picked up in 2002 at the Laugh Factory, right?
Okay.
And I moved in. Jennifer and I moved in 2004.
Yeah, because that's when we started talking when you and Jen were living together.
I remember it just hit me not just about a couple weeks ago. I remember her. I came out of the room. I had been on the phone for an hour and a half, or whatever, and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Oh, Ruben Paul. You know Ruben." She goes, "Wow, you guys. Oh, you guys have been talking a lot lately."
Yeah, we were really good friends, man. And then he cut me off during the Mad TV era, and then we became friends after.
Get this, this dude wasn't even watching me on Mad TV.
What? I recorded every episode.
I would be like, "Hey, Ruben, did you think of that episode?" You'd be like, "I'll get to it."
Oh, please! I recorded every episode.
Get to
but
it.
This is how me and Johnny became friends. Even before we started talking.
Yeah.
So we're at the Laugh Factory, and there was a showcase, and the stage is directly in front of us. And I know Johnny, but I don't really know him that well. So we're watching this comic, and he's doing this joke that we both know is bullshit. So he's doing it. We're kind of watching.
This happened to me. That happened. This person.
Yeah,
said
he's saying this happened, that happened, and I'm kind of looking like this, and I have a very expressive face, as Johnny would tell you, and I'm kind of looking. I can't hide it. And then we kind of look and made eye contact, and we go, "No, he didn't." at the same
And
time.
that was when we were like, I was like, all right, we're on this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some of those.
Yeah, because I think he was saying something. He had like a retarded cousin,
retarded brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, a mentally handicapped,
Mentally challenged.
yeah,
Mentally challenged.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was using
retarded.
Yeah,
at that
and
time.
we were just walking. And we were like, knew this guy for a while. We're like, never heard him talking. There's,
Yeah,
we
you
just
knew-
got a
you thought
little
it was
bit.
bullshit,
But you know,
yeah.
there's other guys who you'll hear them say like, you know, the guy got in, man. He carjacked me, and then he took off, and I chased it, and we'd be like, no, he didn't.
You didn't do that. You didn't do that, dude. Quit lying.
I do that
You
shit
didn't
with
do
the
that.
homies
what I'm
all
talking
the time. In my
about?
group chat, we do that all the
Calling bullshit.
But there's some people that just exaggerate
the
everything.
time.
Yeah.
And that's what's dope. Kind of getting back to the authenticity of certain artists is truth has a certain ring to it.
Right.
When you don't question it, you're
Yeah.
like, yo, I do believe that happens.
Right.
Even if it sounds a little crazy, you're like, I do believe
Right.
that happened.
Right.
You know?
I have this thing like on with my friends when we talk about like a famous friend that we know or whatever, and they're like, "Really, you know that?" Like, we do that on purpose. We
Yeah.
even though we know the guy, we're like, "Really, Grammy nominated that guy."
Making fun of him.
yeah.
And then, like you said, do you know him or do you know him? Know him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with PK, how long were you doing your shows that you and I started to really hang out?
Like, well, 2005 was when I started hosting this. So
Yeah.
right after you guys met, the year after you met.
Yeah.
There's one, I was just thinking right now, I was like, what was my favorite memory? One time Johnny was just dealing with this heckler, but drunk, big, huge white guy. He was with his girl, and he stood up to rush the stage. And
that's right.
Like I forgot who the bouncer
Oh,
was.
it was
that time.
Randy
He
and-
went
and the
high.
big-
I went Jeff Van Gundy low. I jumped on his leg,
And then
he was
remember-
like, he was trying to fight
Yeah,
Johnny.
he
and
was gonna
everyone
rush
was
the
like,
stage.
Everyone was like, oh shit! And I was,
Oh, watch out! You almost
oh,
knocked it.
sorry. I was holding.
I love PK gets into it.
I know.
man.
I was holding on to his leg.
Yeah, and Randy got there late. Remember, Randy kept saying the
Oh,
door
yeah.
guy said he was the first one. But remember, there was a guy
There
in
was
the
another guy.
the guy in the audience
Yeah.
that was a. He was a UFC. I mean, you know, he was a
He grabbed him up
MMA
top.
guy. Yeah, he grabbed him first. Was like, sit down. And that dude was like 6'3",
He was big.
6'4". This is the dude. They kicked him out. He was there with his family. I remember his.
He was coming after you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was rushing the
Oh,
stage.
shit.
and all I
I could
did-
probably relate to him because sometimes I've wanted to rush the stage. with
Dude,
him.
I didn't even say anything to him. I said, all I did, he was heckling everybody. His girlfriend was trying to talk to me, and she was slurring so bad. I did an impression of her,
Yeah.
and that made him lose it. Everybody had been telling him to shut the fuck up and all this other stuff, but I was like, this is that. And he's all, Dave, my girl. So he's there with a whole family. They're visiting. As they're taking him out, I remember his mom turned to me. I was still on the stage.
I remember
and his
the
mom,
story.
And mom looks, she goes, I'm sorry about that. And then I go, no, it's okay. She goes, no, it's not okay. Well, he goes outside. I end up going outside. He didn't realize that was me, I guess. We crisscrossed right there against the wall in the Laugh Factory. His family's telling him, you need to calm down. He ended up slapping his mom
I remember
in
you
the
telling me.
face,
Oh,
dude.
wow.
Because
The
as I
world
was
is his
walking across the street,
problem.
I was like, oh, this is getting, heavy. And then his dad's like, hey, calm down, son. And then his cousin's like, I'll beat your ass too. And then his mom's like, you need to show Rick. And he just goes, wham. And,
Wow.
And literally, she went, oh, like that, dude. And then the dad and the cousin were like trying to beat the shit out of him, dude. And they were like, later on, somebody said he was spun out. He was on like
Oh,
meth
my
or some
God.
shit, dude. Which he
That's
looked
so
like.
good it'll make you want to slap your mama.
And I do take pride when I hear stories like this. I go, wow, I'm just glad they weren't black. That's all I care about. When you hear a lot of these stories, like especially when a news story starts up, and
yeah.
you're just like, please don't let them be
Please.
black.
That's what
Please.
happens.
Oh,
Like that's what happens
dude.
to us in traffic. If like somebody fucks like in the lane, we drive past like, please don't be Asian. Like,
You know how many times, dude? I'll think of PK because I'll text him sometimes, dude. I got cut off 3 times with this person. They were all Asian, dude. But sometimes it'll happen, and I'll just think, I could imagine how much we would laugh
I know.
if you were with me and we go, let's go see, because you always want to go see what
do
the
you
person
do that?
looks like.
I dead ass.
I always-
Sometimes
I
I see
always
some
do that
traffic
too.
fucked up shit. I'm like,
Now-
please. Oh,
From my experience, can I be
Oh.
honest? From my experience in Asia, Chinese drivers are excellent.
Really?
right.
Yeah, like I remember because remember I was talking to somebody because when shit strikes you. So I'm talking to one of my boys who lives there, not Turner, but Turner's partner Andy. who's now living in Hong Kong. I go, yo, man. I go, is it me or do the Asian drivers drive pretty well here? And he goes, everything is flow and yin and yang.
Right.
So if you're walking across the street, right, all you have to do is walk. You just trust that the person sees you. So you're walking, and then they'll just. It's just weird. Everything is about fluidity and motion. There's no hesitation.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And I think when they come here, it's stop.
Yeah.
This, like, you know what I
Or
mean?
it's like you're supposed to wait till they walk past and get really far there. As soon as they
Yeah.
pass, just
So like literally, like my boy was like, whatever you do, just keep walking. They're not going to hit you. So coming from America, you're like, are you sure? So you'll just be walking, and then the car will go, and you just keep flowing. Now there's traffic lights and everything, but it's just a different fluidity to it.
I know what you're talking, because I was in Korea. I went to Korea.
Korea's great.
And I guess, at the time I thought it was very chaotic, but I get it now. Because it
is
nothing
pretty crazy, though.
It is in Korea, right?
I didn't like
It's
being in
pretty
the cabs
crazy.
in Korea.
Yeah,
a lot,
it's
too.
like-
I got kicked out of
crazy.
a cab in Korea. I was pissed.
Was it some like
racist
racial
one,
shit?
or
or
what?
what?
It felt racial. I couldn't understand the guy. I got into the car. We
It
literally
probably
went
was.
half a black.
It was definitely racial.
Yo, it was definitely racial. Yeah, the
That's
Korean
a good
took
clip
the half,
right there.
took the black, half a black. He took the black, half a black, and he just stopped. We were in the part outside Seoul. I think they call it America Town.
Itaewon. Itaewon.
Not Itaewon.
Oh, okay.
Where like they used to have the Hard Rock Cafe and all that stuff over there.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
Oh, that's funny if they call it America Town.
It's something like
Yeah,
that.
he does the racist
but
stuff
here's
in
the-
front of America.
But there's some dope parts in Korea where like the American military isn't allowed just because of how they were just
slaying girls.
just slaying
smashing
girls and
yeah.
just going wild in those
Yeah.
areas. That so we would go to those type of places, but we did go, because we weren't military.
Yeah, right.
But we did go this one part. So I get into the cab, and I at that time, I knew a couple of words in Korean, and he gets in the car and he drives half a block and he stops and says, "Get out," and just starts yelling.
What?
And I was half buzzed. And when somebody's yelling at you in another country, you're scared.
Yeah.
There's like this fear. They're like, what the hell? He's like, get out, get out, get out. And I get out of the car. He makes a U-turn. And now I have a long ass walk, back to the hotel. And then I see him pass by with other people in the car later.
That's fucked up. That was definitely
Damn.
Well, I don't know though. Hold on.
Okay.
You know what this guy told me? Were you doing your hard black thing that you've told me
My
you do?
hard black
Yes.
I'm sure he wasn't doing that.
I
in
wasn't
Korea.
doing that in Korea.
Okay.
Until I got back to his hotel.
Half black.
Yeah, why would you want to do that in Korea?
But-
That doesn't
down.
seem like the
But-
place.
Yeah.
But I got recognized in Korea, which
Oh,
was
nice.
dope.
Oh, that's tight.
By a full-blooded Korean that lived there.
They're like Jay-Z.
I was trying to.
Shaboy. I just kept saying that.
He
as
just
The
well.
reason why I
it.
say that is because I would tell him that I would always get stuck when I get picked up at the airport. This is back when we would hop into cabs when traveling on the road. And I'm like, damn, Rube, I'm always getting stuck with these dudes that just, they ask me what I'm doing. And then next thing I know, it's a 45-minute conversation on the way to the hotel. And then I go, don't you hate that? And Ruben goes, nah, that never happens to me. I go, really? He goes, well, I put my hoodie,
Yeah.
grabs his hoodie.
Don't talk to me.
And then he gets in back and he just yeah, that hotel,
What?
yeah. And they're afraid to talk to him.
You act like I'm
avoid
about to
that.
drop a verse or something. Yeah. Yeah, that hotel.
Yeah, turn up the headphones real quick.
Yeah.
Turn up the headphones louder.
Wait a minute, I think I just started my one-hit wonder.
Oh my god.
Hotel. Just remember this.
So I'm
I'm gonna. You help me write it.
so
I don't know. No, you help me write it.
You know-
just let me go.
You know
yeah.
that show.
Hotel. Yeah. And you do all the rapping, and every now and then you go hotel. Oh shit.
So here's a story about a cab ride. So I don't know if they're gonna bring this show back. That Comedy Central show. This is not happening.
Oh, I love that show.
What show was that?
It was a show basically.
The storytelling.
The storytelling.
storytelling.
Ari
show.
Shafir show?
It
Yeah,
was Ari's.
then he got booted off.
They brought in Tony.
Tony Hitchcock?
Roy Woods.
Roy Woods.
Roy Woods.
Oh, recently
So-
he got booted off for it?
Yeah.
So
a couple like 2 seasons ago or something like that.
So the concept of the show is like tell your craziest stories, like where that happened. So I have one story that happened when I was in China. I was in Suzhou, And we go out after the show. You know, we're drinking, we're having a good time, and actually Turner met his wife there at that particular night.
Oh, okay.
So he's gonna go back with her, and then the promoter / chaperone is gonna take me back to the hotel. So we all been drinking, and then Turner was like, "Oh, see you tomorrow, man." And then Andy was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna throw you in a cab, and tell him where to drop you off." So he goes to the cab driver and he says what he says in Mandarin, and then he leaves. And for some reason, I don't speak Mandarin, but it's just how he said it and the look on the cab driver's face. I go, "Hey, dude, I don't think he understood what you said." And he was like, "Ruben, I live here, bro. My Mandarin is flawless." And I go, "Can you just please?" So he says something to the guy again. I go, "I don't think he was like, just get in the car, mate." He's from Australia. So I get in the car. And, it's late. I'm buzzed. So I'm in the back. So I close my eyes. 1 minute later, the car stops and he's speaking to me in full Mandarin. And he's asking me where to go.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
And I go, it's literally what I did. I go, and he goes, and then he's saying stuff in Mandarin. And I'm going, so I just told him to drive. So he's driving, and now the cell phone, the phone is dead that I have, so I can't call Andy back. So we're driving, and every second light he would stop and turn around and go, and I'm going, So, dude, I guess how you say people have compassion, I guess he sees the look on my face and goes, "Yo, like, this guy's terrified. He obviously is not from here. I'm going to try to get this guy home." So he's driving, and he kept turning around every and then
this it?
Yeah, and then I'm going, So finally we get to a dead end.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he looks at me like, "This is what I got it. Motherfucker, I can't do this all night." So I saw the dead end, and I go, and I have a great sense of Johnny Sanchez. I have a good memory and good sense of direction. So we make a U-turn after the dead end, and we're driving, and my heart is beating fast. And I saw a landmark that I saw early in the day, and I went, "Whoa! Whoa!" And he goes, "Whoa!" I go, "Whoa!" He goes, "Whoa!" I go, "Whoa! Whoa!" He goes, "Whoa!" So that's exactly how we're communicating with each other.
I don't know why, but your aha sounded Asian as fuck. Like, you nailed that. That is exactly. That's our aha.
So, dude. So I go, "Oh!" He goes, "Oh!" And I go, "Oh!" He goes, "Oh!" So we're driving, and I see the hotel, and I go, "Oh! Hotel!" And then he goes, "Oh, hotel!" I go, "Yeah." So he pulls up. I reach into my pocket to pay him. He goes, No.
Oh, wow.
I go, "No." He goes, "Oh." Dude, I get out the car and I go, I'm saying thank you. And he's like, "Oh, God." He's giving me the signal for have a good night. I reach into my pocket for my room key, and I look at the back of the room key, and the address for the hotel is on the back of the room key.
No way. That's hilarious.
So all I had to do was give him the room key, and he would have taken me straight there.
Yeah, that's usually the case. It's always on the hotel. That's a good way to,
But not all hotels.
Yeah, because some of them don't
not
have
all
it.
hotels put them on there. But I was buzzed, and I didn't think, dude. But it was one of the craziest.
And he didn't charge you? That's
He didn't
just-
charge me,
that's
dude.
nice.
It was just so.
I know, he's a
He has
good
so
guy.
much
Good
compassion,
karma.
man.
Good karma on that.
This is the first time he said something. He literally went,
But we were communicating with I'm
gonna wrap it up right now. I'm gonna wrap it up. You guys want to promote something real quick?
your
Just
podcast.
the best of everything.
Yeah, well, we have a podcast that me and Johnny do together, and we've been doing it together for a little over a
year now. Yeah,
and it's called The Best of Everything, and we discuss all different types of topics on the show.
Yeah.
And it's just me and him, two buds, talking crazy.
Some
And
guests
we
every
have
now and
guests
then.
Is it a
every now and then.
weekly joint?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a weekly. It's a
Okay.
weekly podcast that you can get on any place that you can get podcasts: iTunes, Google Play,
Spotify.
Well,
Yeah.
put us on sometimes. We'll
Yeah,
get on
we'd
there.
love for you.
Oh
to
man,
come
that'd be
on.
great, dude.
We'd love to have you on. Dude.
Yeah.
If you,
Once the Corona thing dies out, with
No, you're-
come with masks.
You're welcome, man. We have it all
Hey,
plastic everywhere.
I'll wait till after the. By the way,
Nope.
that show, I really did like that show. Like, what is it?
What show?
I can't believe this is happening.
I can't believe this is happening.
That's
Yeah.
right.
No,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is-
Yeah,
yeah.
I wanted
This
to
is
do
not
that show.
I
and
did too, dude.
No, this
I
is
had-
not happening.
But a friend of mine called
You guys
me.
said, I can't believe
This
this
is not
This is not happening.
Oh,
So-
this is not happening.
You're like, I can't believe this is not butter. I'm
I
like,
can't
yeah.
believe this is not butter.
Well, the thing
happening.
was, the person who called, because I didn't really know much about the show. Then a buddy called me because I freestyled that story
Oh,
on
wow.
stage in China, and it killed. And I did it once, like here in the States. And he was like, "Yo, you should do that show. That
Yeah.
story is perfect.
It's a great story.
And I kind of cut stuff out for purposes here, but yeah, I would love to do that show.
I
and
had
tell that story
two.
on
I
the
remember
show.
when they were asking people to submit. There was 2 stories that I was considering
Right.
to throw into that. Yeah. I'd still love to. That's
think it's
something
a
I would
great
love
show.
to do, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a style because you don't have to worry about the punch. You don't have to worry about the funny or
And the
anything
laugh
like
is the-
that, man.
It's
you
more
can
of a
just
storytelling.
just
Yeah.
a
Just a good
storytelling.
story,
And,
yeah.
yeah, man.
So if there's any producers that are involved in that show, Ruben Paul and Johnny Sanchez would love to do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe or
and mine is getting chased by the Tulare Police Department.
that's a great story.
or if there's a
right, yeah.
Latino version of
That's
it
a
called
great
¿Qué
story.
pasó?
Oh, and by the way, yeah, if there's there's a ¿Qué pasó show for storytelling, cholo storytelling. Eh?
But Ruben Paul, Johnny Sanchez, thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks
you
for
guys.
having
Tune
us.
in next week for another episode of Fun with Dumb. Yee.